Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Bobby Holman, and I am your host for today on our Let's Talk Business podcast, Tri County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce's Let's Talk Business podcast. And we are super excited to be here today. We have some really exciting guests, and I know that if you visit with us regularly, I always say that. And I always say that we have an exciting guest or we have exciting guests, and that's only because it's true. So before we get into introducing you to our guest today, we would like to thank our supporting members, and we are hosting our member showcase today. And our supporting members are, of course, Amico Federal Credit Union, Enlightenment Enterprises, the Linwood Group, and Quality Precision Coatings. And they are in support of our Let's Talk Business podcast today. So, we're going to get started. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Brian Jordan, who is the managing member of Quality Precision Coatings, and Miss Yvette Rutledge, who is the owner of Sweet Pea Personal Home Care. And we're going to talk about that name in just a bit because it has a draw to it, Sweet Pea. So first of all, Miss Yvette, we're going to let you kick it off. Tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, and we'll just go from there.
Well, my name is Javette Rutledge. I'm the CEO of Sweet Pea Personal Home Care Assisted Living Facility. I started this business because it's been a passion of mine. As a pastor's daughter, I've always grew up in the church, going to different nursing homes, just doing on a mission with helping and just dealing with elders and gaining wisdom at the same time. And during the time that I was going there, I used to ask my mother and father questions about, why can't they live in their own home? And they would tell me that they can no longer take care of themselves, so they had to allow other people to do that for them. And so, in me doing this, 2 years, during COVID, my grandfather took ill, and I had to go get him because he was in a nursing home. And at that point, I decided to go ahead on with my dreams and open up my own assisted living facility just to help him out because he's a Vietnam veteran too as well, and veterans don't get the same thing that other seniors get. So, and it's a lot of veterans that doesn't know about the services that are provided for them. So I reached out and I started the process of gaining resources for my business.
Wow.
To help the veterans and those that were in need.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. It started like almost with your own, your grandfather.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Brian, we want to share with us, who you are, what you do, and how you got started.
Okay. So I'm Brian Jordan, managing member, as you said, of Quality Precision Coatings. What we do industrial coatings for the oil and gas, transportation, wastewater, and medical field. So, to put it simple, we are an industrial painting company. A lot of people hear coating and think I'm saying coating like computers, but it's actually coating. So just to simplify it, we're an industrial painting company. Different between paint and coating, most of the time paint is aesthetic. Coating really serves a purpose, so it's protecting it from environmental issues. How did I get started? God's blessings, I would say, for sure.
Yes.
No, but seriously, I was really blessed to have worked for a company for about 2 years, and maybe we'll expound on that later, but I worked for a company for a little over 2 years, and pre-COVID, the manager told me that they wanted to shut it down. Well, the owner said that they wanted to shut it down. And they sent us home for like 2 months, but blessing, she paid us while we were at home.
Okay.
And while I'm sitting at home, drinking beer, sitting on the porch, praying because I see my money running out, I'm sitting there thinking, how can I save my job and my coworkers' jobs? And in the midst of praying, because I like to sit on my porch and pray, in the midst of praying, it just popped up, ask for the company. So I did. It took her about a week, and she said, yeah, I'll go with it.
So wait, Brian. You said, say that part again about you were sitting there praying, and then you had the
God gave it to me to ask for the company. He told me, ask for the company. And I literally, as soon as he said, I obeyed, and I called her right then.
The lady that you were working for, you called her.
I called her and I said, hey, give me an opportunity to acquire the company from you. I'll put together some people and I'll acquire the company from you. Well, that wasn't God's plan for me to put together the people, because everyone that I reached out to, they either had reserves or they wasn't able to commit to it in that manner or believe in it the way that I believed in it. And so I just came back to her and I said, hey, look, on a promissory note, I'll take this and this is what I can do. And she came back and she said, if you can do this, you can have it, right? And for about a year, that was our agreement, and we completed that year in July 2020.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Something about that praying thing. You see why I be saying we have these exciting and amazing guests on our show, and I say that because it is so true and it is so real. And one of the things I love about our guests is when we share, we know where it's coming from. We know that it's coming from the heart. And you know, when you're starting your company on a belief, you know, you're starting your company on a belief is because you said, I was led to do this, or God told me to do this. And it just pulls at your heartstrings, because we know that you have, or I know, and I'm sure some of our listeners and viewers can attest to it, if you've been there. Yeah. You know. I mean, you just know that you know that you know, you know. And so that just blows my mind, and it just helps me to think about some of the things that has happened in my life with my business, and a vision. You know, a vision. And you know, and I say all the time, well, you know, God told me to do this, and I know they had to be God, because I'm not that smart. You know, and so when he gives it, just like Kenji was saying this morning, you know, when God gives it to you, he didn't give you the whole blueprint, you know, but it's like taking medicine, take as directed, you know, and he just kind of gives you just a little bit at a time. And as you walk in obedience to where he's leading you, and then you can look back maybe 10 steps and say, wow, how did I get here? How did I get here? Great story, Brian. So Yvette, tell us, as a facility owner, tell us some of the unique benefits. Share with us some of the challenges that you faced, and then share with us how you overcame them.
Some of the benefits of having a smaller facility versus a larger one, it allows just the patients and the residents to have a more home feeling versus being around like a nursing home or either a hospital. It allows them to continue to grow, continue to live. It makes them fight. I've seen several people that come into my home and they have given completely up. But once you give them the love and show them that this is not over. It's not over until God says it's over. Yeah. So you continue to push. Because if I can come to work every day and give you what you need and assistance that you need, you will push to go a little further each and every day. And the challenges that it's really not a challenge. It's just getting the residents. Is the main thing. You have to find the doors to open, to make those connections, because it's not a lot of people in the industry that's talking about it openly. So you have to get people to trust you, to give you the information to get you where you need to be. And it's been going great so far. I mean, I've met people just in walking into the grocery store. And I said, God, you know what? I'm grateful that you allowed me to be here at this moment to see how you work. Because it's just a testimony. It's not, I can't even explain.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes. Okay, Brian, share with us some of the unique businesses. Well, what I want to ask you is, this is from the first answer that you shared with us. Tell us about the company that you acquired. You worked for the company 2 years, I think you said. You worked for the company a little over 2 years.
Approaching 3 years.
Okay, and then now you've acquired your own. What's that feel like, or what does it look like when you look at that company to your company, and I have to believe that you've made your company better. You perfected some things. You changed some things. You modified some things.
Right.
So tell us what that's like for you as now the owner.
Okay. So I was also blessed as in being in the industry. I was blessed to be able to go through the Six Sigma program. If some people are familiar with it, it's more about lean manufacturing.
Okay.
Through you look at the data and you see where your problems are, and then you can address those.
Okay.
With it not being my company, I couldn't say, hey, this is where you need to put your money at, because this is going to fix all the problems, right? Well, not all of the problems, but majority of the problems,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I'm only able to give suggestions at that point in time. And so there were some things that I did see, and that's not to say that that's the reason why, the lady wanted to give up the company. But I did see for me to look at it and say, you know what, I know I can make this work, it was because I was actually on the production side at that time, and I'm looking at things from the employee standpoint and everything like that to say, hey, if we do this, and this. So I had partially front office and partially production, right? But the biggest challenge that I had was I knew nothing about that backside. I thought I might have knew, but once I actually acquired the company, and it was like, oh, well, payroll taxes, you got to pay yours and theirs. And I was like, what? So how am I supposed to make money, right?
Yes.
But and then we're talking about challenges right now, right?
Right.
Okay, so one of the biggest challenges for me itself was it wasn't a traditional acquisition, right? Though I had help in many ways, both from the previous owner and from, you got to reach out to family and friends, right? So even though I had some help at that moment, we didn't have those cash reserves for what was a tremendous payroll.
Can we talk about that?
Supplies,
Capital.
supplies and all that. So I had zero really operating capital. So literally, first thing I did was I slashed my salary. I slashed my salary, and I was blessed to have a wife that was willing to work for free.
Yes.
So she took over the front office, and she worked for free for probably 8 months. And I think I cut my salary by 40%. And so the only thing that was being met was the bills at home, and everything else was going into the company in that manner. And so that was really kind of most of the major challenges was, and then the turnover, right?
Okay. Talk about that.
Even though I had decided, or not I had decided, even though I was my thinking process was, how can I save me and my coworkers' jobs, right?
Me and my coworkers.
Right. Not everyone bought into that or believed in that or even wanted to see me be successful, So there was a lot of turnover or that maybe they weren't confident in me taking over. I'm not sure what their thinking process was, but I know that, some of the staffing didn't want to transition over, right? But like I said, God has always been a blessing. I was able to lean on different people that I had met in the industry already, bring guys like that in to help assist. Again, I was able to bring in my wife, and she was able to help assist with the front office portion and things like that. And I just immediately started just pouring out the skills that I had already learned into my other guys, so that I can train y'all up. Hey, this is how I'm thinking. This is what I'm looking at. I want you to know that I'm going to bat for you every day.
That's amazing, because we all know in your situation, going from your former boss or foreman or however it's termed, to now you're taking over, and so you can imagine some of the people that were there, or the staff or the employees that were on hand, and so now you went from employee to owner, and so you have to know in business, everybody's not going to be happy for you. Everybody's not going to support you. Yvette and I were talking this morning about persevering, and pushing through. And I think that we can, as business owners, we can all relate to the outgo exceeding the income, and your wife is your partner or somebody who believes in you, you know, baby, I got this, you know, and willing to work, to do what it takes to get this thing off the ground, you know, and then you taking a cut and pay. Those sacrifices weigh so much. They weigh so much, and so it gives you a depth of appreciation, and then you're feeling like you've got a support at home. You know, wife is saying, "Baby, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay." And then, you know, you have those obstacles, yet you continue to push and you continue to persevere, and then you begin to see the light. You know, you begin to see that thing turn around, and that's so amazing. And just to know, as business owners, as I stated earlier, everybody's not going to be there for you. Everybody's not going to see what you see. And what I say all the time is, when God gave you that, when God told you, go ask her, go ask her. And probably nobody in the whole world saw that, but it wasn't for them to see. You know, and I heard somebody say, I don't remember who it was, but you can't be a giraffe and you tell your dream to a turtle. You don't see from the same vantage point. You're the giraffe and here's the turtle. You know, so we have to continue to push. And when you believe, it's something about your belief system. When you believe, that's going to give you just what you need, just when you need it, to just keep going and to keep going. And so that's good stuff, Brian. That is good stuff. Good stuff. So, Yvette, tell us about your most heartfelt underlying goal and or philosophy, and your mission. Tell us what drives you to do what you do.
Just to help others that can't help themselves. Going out, giving them the knowledge that I have. I reach out to veterans. I will stop on the street to homeless people just to see if they have somewhere to stay, you know, because a lot of people don't know that homeless, the veterans, period, have more resources than you can put your hands on.
Okay.
So with me having that and being an advocate of it, I can actually give you that and bring you in and show you the ropes. Even if you don't stay in my facility, I can show you how to get yourself get on your feet and just get in a stable, healthy environment. Because it's not a lot of times that people are willing to help veterans because of the fear of them. And so I try to eliminate that, you know, just so I could just show the veterans that they can push, and they can actually, they're human too. I mean, they went through things in wars, they have disability, mental issues, but it's not the end. It's just the beginning. You have to find a foundation, find those standards, a structure that you believe in. But by me giving them a resource, it gives them something to believe in. So a lot of people won't do that. And with me being a veteran, it's more heartfelt to me, you know, to go out and do that. You know, I take in other patients and residents as well besides veterans, but veterans it's more heartfelt for me because of the fact that I've been there and I understand. So I push more to go and try to help and give my time to them so I can, you know, just give them a place to stay, or just the resource, you know, just so they can have somewhere to go.
And you've been there. I heard you say, I've been there. I've been there. Talk about, give us a scenario of what it's like when you say you see people on the street, or what is that initial contact like, and the conversation that transpires between you and a person that you don't even know that's homeless?
Oh, they're reserved. Okay. Because they're already stereotyped. Mental conditions, you got to be standoffish, but you really don't. You're human people, human beings. You can give them love like you give everybody else. So me walking up to them, I let them know that I'm a veteran, and I'm just trying to see how can I help you. What can I do to get you off the street? What can I do to get you a meal every day, 3 to 4 times a day? How can I help? And if there's something that they can't get past. Most of them have mental conditions, and they don't want to take the medications, which I understand. And I'm very holistic because I'm a vegan, so I have different resources when it comes to that as well. So with me having the resources that I have, I still can direct them in the right place. And if they feel like they don't want to do it, then I will offer them something else. I will buy them a room. I went and got hotel rooms for veterans, just to give them 2 or 3 nights, and then come back and check on them, do a check-in, and see if I can help you even further, just to persuade them to allow me to come in and help you. So
is it like, do you have to have several conversations with them? Do you have to maybe, like you say, you see them and you may go back the next day, or you go back the next day? So is there like and I know that everybody may be different. You know, one veteran may be different from another. They may be suffering with different disabilities or mental handicaps or whatever. But what has been for you? And I hear heartfelt. I hear it all day. I hear it in your voice. I know it's in your heart. So, what has been? Tell us about one client, and I'm gonna say a client. Tell us about one client that just, their story that absolutely blew your mind.
There was a female veteran that was, she was in Atlanta actually, and she had been homeless for over 5 years. And her biggest thing was going to the VA and trying to get help. Well, she had an addiction. And there are certain guidelines that the VA will not, they will give you help, but if you can't pass a drug test, you can't get in some of the programs. Well, and I feel like that's a bad thing, because most of the veterans that are on the street, they do have
result,
addictions.
or sometimes as a result
some type of addiction.
Yes.
And so we took it into our own hands just to take her in. It was a small home, and took her in and try to get her clean, but you can't do it that way. You have to attack the mental first, and to give them a foundation so you can actually reach them. So in doing this, she allowed us. It took us 3 to 4 weeks to actually get her to the point where she would go into rehab and just see and get her get the therapy started. And then after a month or 2 later, she relapsed. But she came to me and told me that she did it, but she wanted my help. And at that point, I realized, okay, you have to want the help yourself first before I can even reach you. So now that you want it, let's go these other steps. Take the other mile. Go through the rehab. Get clean. Then enter into the programs. And then utilize that as you see fit. And then once that happened, she ended up getting she was homeless, so she qualified for the homeless apartments, homeless veteran apartments, and she moved in. And I checked on her a year ago, and she's doing well. She's even volunteering to help out, and she thanks me all the time for reaching out and not giving up, because we can give up so easily, because we can't approach it with control. You got to approach it with love, because at the end of the day, if the person is in there and been there for a long time, they're unstable, so they have to trust you first. So building that bridge with the trust and the love, it made her surrender to the process, which was very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yeah, that's like mission impossible. I mean, mission accomplished. And it just kind of confirms that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. Absolutely. And it's just reaching those people that are unfortunate, those people that have gone through, and in particular the veterans, because they served. And I hear a lot of people say, our government doesn't take care of our veterans, and they're the ones that served. And so that has to give you some joy. And just knowing that, okay, God, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's quite fulfilling, I'm sure, because I'm just sitting here listening, and I'm in awe when when you encounter people, because, and you talk about the stereotypes, because you see people under the bridge or, you know, asking for money, and then you hear stories or things that have been on the news that are saying it's a scam. These people have a Mercedes parked down the street around the corner and they're taking advantage of it. But when you know that you know that you know, and it's like with the chamber for me, I just always ask God to lead me to those people.
Absolutely.
You know, lead me to those people that you want me to talk to, and it's just something about a vision, and then to have the passion that drives the vision. So that is awesome. That is awesome. So very fulfilling and so rewarding. Well, let's shift a little bit. First of all, we're going to take a second to thank our sponsors, Amico Federal Credit Union, Southwest Airlines, Texas Department of Public Transportation. Also, if you are interested in growing your business, if you're needing media assistance with exposure for your business, if you need a commercial, if you want to have your business put on blast, so to speak, please contact GMT Radio at www.gmtradio.com. Kenji is the owner of GMT Radio, and we call him Nice. His name is Kenji, but we call him Nice, and he is quite an amazing person in the media world. He just knows his stuff. And so if you're wanting exposure, like I previously mentioned, radio, commercial, TV, please reach out to GMT Radio at www.gmtradio.com, and he will certainly put you on the map, give your business the exposure that you need to help to get your business started with where you are trying to go. So that's our business. That's our plug for GMT Radio, and also Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. I am always proud to mention that we are one chamber and we serve 12 counties. And so unlike any other chamber, we're one chamber that serves 12 counties. And so that gives you a little bit of an idea about our reach. And what we do. We're in 4 regions, 12 counties, and we are growing. So if you're in Jasper, if you're in Fort Bend, if you're in the Beaumont area, Galveston County, the list just goes on and on. Please go to our website at tcbcc.org. That's tcbcc.org. And let me encourage you to click on our services tab and also to click on our testimonials tabs. And what you'll find on our services tabs is all of the services that we provide. Our website is very user friendly. And when you look at our testimonials I refer to as our reviews. And so for those of us ladies who love to shop, I don't know if the guys do it, but I'm sure I know that we women do. We go and look at the reviews when we get ready to purchase something, because we want to know, let's see, is this company reputable? Are they legitimate? What are the people saying about it? So that's why I encourage people to always look at our testimonials, because they're not paid actors. They are real testimonials. They're real people, real business owners with real live testimonies about what the chamber has done for them, how their businesses has grown, and where they are now as a result of being a member of the chamber. So check that out. Again, if you're just now joining us, we are live with our member showcase, and we are featuring Mr. Brian Jordan, who is the managing member of Quality Precision Coatings LLC, and Miss Yvette Rutledge, who is the owner of Sweet Pea Personal Home Care LLC. So they're joining us in the studio today. I want to ask you, Brian, where can we find you? Where can we find you? If a person was looking for you, where can we find you?
So our physical location is at 9105 Lay Road, Houston, Texas 77078. That's kind of east side of town. We're right off of Mesa and Lay.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with Mesa and Lay, that's kind of like 610 McCarty area. If you're not familiar with that, 610 and I-10, right over there close to the ship channel. We're literally on the east side of town.
Okay.
Contact-wise, you can always contact sales@qpcoatings.com. Our website is www.qpcoatings.com.
Okay.
So yeah, those would be the best ways that you can get in contact with us. We do have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter account. All of those are under qpcoatings.com.
Okay. Miss Yvette?
Okay, you can find us at 8735 Long Cross Drive, Richmond, Texas 77406. And the website is www.sweetpeaphc.com.
Okay. Glad to know. Now you guys know where to find them, either on the website, on social media. Reach out to them for your quality precision coating needs, as well as personal home care. Ryan, I want to ask you a little bit, because I learned something today when you talked about the difference in paint and coating.
Okay.
Can you expound on that a little bit more?
Okay, so typically, so it's all paint, right?
Okay.
But when you consider it a coating, again, like I said, it's going for it to serve a certain purpose. When you look out in the world, everything has to be painted.
Okay.
Typically because every piece of steel, wood, from the moment that it's manufactured, it begins to erode or corrode, right?
Okay.
And so what we do is we apply protective coatings to slow those processes down. So when you think about a piece of steel, the moment that it's manufactured, it begins to rust. It's trying to return itself back to the earth, right? Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we apply coatings in that manner. That's almost a sermon in itself, right? we apply coatings in that manner to slow that process down. Let's say you have a valve and you're going to drop it to the bottom of the ocean, right?
Okay.
The difference in it having coating on it and it not is it may last 2 years and it could last 12 years.
Okay.
So we apply the coatings to allow those things to happen. You definitely want, when you see those steel beams that are on bridges and things like that, or bridges made out of steel, you definitely don't want that to be just raw metal, right? Because then infrastructure has to be replaced because it's sitting there eroding due to the elements. So they put protective coatings on top of them to make that longevity go.
Okay, so when you're talking about beams and I thought you were talking. When you mentioned coatings and it's paint, I'm thinking you're talking about automobiles.
So we do a bit of automotive as well. So we're a full service shop.
Okay.
Like I said, we service the transportation field, oil and gas field, wastewater, and so we paint everything from valves, trailers, internal of ISO containers. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with those.
No.
So an ISO container is pretty much a container that they put on the ship.
Okay.
So if they want to ship, let's say, alcohol from here to Europe,
okay,
right? Well, the alcohol that they're shipping, it may be corrosive. So the internal of that tank would need a liner in it to protect it from the alcohol. And so we'll install those, send them to our customer, they'll fill it with alcohol, and they may ship it to Europe. So those are the kind of things that we're doing. I just did a project for one of my customers that involved the city of Houston, where we had to go out, because I also do field service inspection.
Okay.
I'm a certified inspector, so I went out to do inspection on the valve, and the customer was like, well, tell me what's wrong with the valve. Okay, well, let me show you everything that's wrong with the valve and what needs to be done to it, right?
Okay.
And so we work with them on that. There's a new transmission line. I don't know if many people know about it, but they're doing a freshwater transmission line from Lake Houston through Greenspoint all the way to Acres Home.
Okay.
And so we went out and we actually inspected those valves and made sure that they were actually installing something that wasn't going to put rust in our people's water. So.
Ooh, that's big stuff. That's serious stuff. Have you encountered? How do you go out and get contracts? How do you go out? What's that like for you to go out and say, hey, I'm Brian Jordan. This is what I do. and to get what would your pitch be like if you wanted to come to me and you wanted to provide your services for my company? What's that like?
So a lot of times it's kind of it's specific, but you know who has coding capabilities and who doesn't, right? Most of the time I ride around and I look at people's facility and I look for a stack. If you don't have an exhaust stack, you don't have a coding department, right? So I'll find different manufacturers and I'll go and I'll present myself to them and say, hey, I'm Brian Jordan, Quality Precision Coatings. This is what we do. We service some of the major oil and, because one of the benefits of our company and me having the quality background, I ended up writing a lot of specs for like Shell, BP, Saudi Aramco, and those things like that. And so I'm actually on their preferred vendors list. And so I'm able to market myself in that manner when I go out and talk to them and say, hey, well, we're doing these things, and even if you do coatings, there may be some specialty coating that you may want to bid on. If you ever run across a job like that, give me a call, and I'll work with you hand in hand, because I do have customers that they have coding departments, but there's specialty things that they need or specialty coatings that they need that they may not be experienced in applying. And so then they'll reach out to me and we'll work it out that way.
So it sounds like even in the name of your company, Quality Precision Coatings, that tells me that what you do is like a specialty. It's nothing basic about what you do, because you not only do that, but you offer this and this and this. And so would you say that is what sets Quality Precision Coatings apart from the other boys out there?
I mean, definitely. You don't find, especially like on the transportation side, you don't find many companies that they go out and they do the inspection. So we go out and we do the inspection, and then we also give a bid from our inspection. So when you get my inspection for whatever you call me out to go and look at, I also give you a price for what I'm going to charge to do it. So you're not writing me a blank check when you bring me your business. I already told you what was wrong with it, and this is what I charge to fix it for you. And I stand on my estimations in that manner. And also, you don't find many. You may find a coating facility that has a owner who ended up going to get the inspectors, right? But you don't really find many where, okay, well, he was an inspector, right? And that's why quality is there. Our motto is quality first, right? So it's quality precision coatings. And so that speaks to, okay, well, our number one concern is quality. And then after that, specialty coatings, right? And then we also do regular coatings as well.
Cause see, I picked up on that. I picked up on it when you said, I'm also an inspector. So it just adds, the things that you do and the services that you provide adds weight to it. Adds value, to what you do, and it sets you apart, from the others, and that's always a plus, because we have to always be better. We have to always be better for obvious reasons. We have to always be better, and it sounds like you are all of those things and more. So Yvette, tell us about. Thank you, Brian. Tell us about your mission and your motto, and what do you do? What sets you apart being a small facility versus a corporate facility?
Being more intimate with the residents. It allows us to be more hands-on and providing care that's tailored just to them. And in doing that, it allows them to have the home you feel versus being in a corporation or a hospital. So they feel more, they can be themselves. And we're there to assist.
Right.
So if you want to cook, we assist. If you want to wash, we assist. We don't put you in a box and tell you what you can and cannot do and just give you meds. And we will also give you different programs. I have a lady now that don't like pills, so we have to provide different alternatives for holistic care. Just giving her different scenarios where, or either different care plans, just so she could feel herself, because she was a naturalist. So she ate vegetables. She never took meds, and so when she got her disabilities, it kind of crippled her a little bit, because she was wondering how could she do this and not be on pharmaceuticals, you know. And so we provide that as well.
I thought you were going to say, when you said she doesn't like pills, because I don't like pills.
Yeah,
so I thought you were going to say, well, we have to give her the gummy bears.
No,
like
no.
Cause see, that's me all day. I cannot take those pills. So, you know, so my vitamin regimen, they're all gummies. Because I cannot, I just can't do it. And so that's what I thought you were going to say. But, of course, you went all the way deeper. You went all the way deeper.
She doesn't like medicine at all. So we have doctors. We have 3 doctors. Well, we can sit down with and come up with a plan to cater to her and her needs, and give her extra stuff that she can do that's on a holistic side versus just all pharmaceuticals. So we have those capabilities as well. So with her being there, she's doing great. She's doing great. She's happy.
That is wonderful. It's like, and I can relate to what you're saying, because when we talk about the services that the chamber offers, right? And I tell people all the time that we are not your ordinary chamber. You know, you can call me early in the morning, you can call me late at night, you can call me on weekends, you can call me on holidays, and you're going to get a voice. You're going to get a voice. You're not going to get a textbook answer. You're not going to get, if you're trying to reach Leandra, press 1. If you're trying to reach Bobby, press 3. And you know, so when you say that, you know, and it's just like your care is customized to the client.
To the client.
Oh, wow.
And their needs.
Because
you want them to continue to live.
And have a quality of life.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, they're human. They should have to, even if they left their home, they should have somebody to take care of them the way that they would want to be taken care of, not the way that someone else is pushing for them to be taken care of. So we don't at Sweet Peas, we don't do that.
Do they have, do your clients have family members?
Yes.
Okay, so they know, because I remember when my mom was sick and we had to put her somewhere because she needed round-the-clock care, and all of us worked and all that stuff. And when we would go into these facilities, we would say to them, would you leave your mom here? Would you leave your mama here? You know what I'm saying? Because you want to have that peace of mind. Absolutely. Is this facility as such where you will be comfortable leaving your own mother here?
Yes. And I will tell you yes. Yes. Because at the end of the day, my kids even go there to help. So it's a family. It's not. I don't even like using the word facility because it's not. It's a home. This is your home. This is our home, and we're gonna run it as such. And in doing that, we're gonna take care of you just like you're my family. Like we grew up together and everything. So if you gotta go to the doctor, we going to the doctor. We do stuff, family trips together. I mean, going do picnics, meditation, yoga. I mean, right now COVID's going on, so you can't really do a lot, but we still do stuff together because they're all vaccinated. So we can do a lot of things together. Having family dinners. I have the families come over. I encourage family members to come over and spend time. I have them bring them meals. You know, cook their favorite dish. Yes. I mean, if you want to cook in the kitchen, we have set times that you can come cook in the kitchen because the house is 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths. So, and we have the meeting room and an extra living room upstairs. So it's massive space, nice backyard, patio with a fireplace. So you can come over, do picnics. You can do a family day. It's all there for you. So it's not like they're not, this their home. It's not just a facility, it's their home.
Or it's not like coming into like a hospital, or you know, because when you hear fireplace, the amenities, you know, when you hear that, you know, they may just want to go sit in the backyard, just want to be quiet. I just want to be left alone, you know. That is very impressive. You say you have your facility has 5 bedrooms. So what is the maximum capacity that? 10.
10. But if the resident wants the entire room, it's a full suite. Okay. So you have your own bathroom that's attached to your room. So you don't have to. They don't have a kitchen and all that stuff, but they do have their own privacy. Yeah. So if you want the whole room, you get the whole room. But you know, they like to have their friends and peers.
Yeah, come check on me, come hang out for a couple of hours, and then
rocking chairs in the backyard.
Yes. And you can have your own personal space, or if you want to go into the family room or the game room, if you want to, share with your neighbors or whatever. That sounds really, really good. So if you're looking for a loving facility, please go to look up Sweet Pea Personal Home Care, where you get the personal touch. Sounds great. So as we wind down, tell us, Brian, and then Yvette, share with us where you see your company in 5 years.
Where I see my company in 5 years. So right now, our goal is to acquire 1% of the global market itself, which is a large task. But I mean, God got us here, so that's actually what we're chasing after, that 1%. If we can just attain that 1% of the global market itself, because we already have some global customers for the most part. And if we can attain that 1%, that would also put us number one in the Gulf Coast.
Oh, wow.
And so I had a friend. He was like, "Well, are you trying to be the number one in Houston?" I said, "No, I'm actually going after 1% of the global market." And
don't put me in no box. 1% of Houston, right?
And he was like, "Well, what does that look like?" I said, "Well, this industry is $1 trillion industry, right? So if I can just get 1%, which I believe is 100% attainable, 1%, that would put me not only for Houston, but probably the Gulf Coast and probably the United States. That would put us number one." And so that's kind of what we're chasing after. I'm not, even though we have competitors, and you have to be knowledgeable of who your competitors are.
Of course.
I believe that because of the way that we're diversifying business, we're in a total different, ball game structure as for them, right? Because most people they're going after oil and gas.
That's huge right now.
Right. And so one of the main things that I try and tell my guys is that oil and gas goes up, oil and gas goes down. I was laid off twice while in oil and gas.
Okay.
So we need to be looking into, if not trying to be the best in oil and gas, right? We need to be looking at how we're diversifying into all of these other fields that are available. And right now, I'm working on a plan to try and get my guys actually into a field service team. And if we can actually get into field service in that manner. So that 1% that I'm speaking about, it's a collective of several different facets of the coating industry.
Okay. And so there's just like all these things working together, right?
Right. So it may be 2% of transportation, 2% of this, 2% of that will equate to us performing the 1%, right?
Quality. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Brian. Okay, Miss Yvette, 5 years.
5 years. I actually gave myself 2 years.
Okay.
To have at least 2 to 3 in at least 10, 15 states. Luxury homes for assisted living, providing just the mountain feel, the ocean feel, just allowing the people to live freely. And being able to just provide the standards and the service for them to age gracefully. That's what I want. That's what I will have.
Yes,
That's what I will have.
Yeah, and I hear you say luxury because that means something to us.
Yes.
I mean, even as we grow up and we deposit and we pour into our children, or they're exposed to a certain lifestyle. They're afforded opportunities to live a certain way. And, and when we grow with that, and then we get to a place where that's the lifestyle that we have become accustomed to, and so even as we age, of course, we want to age graciously. We want to be able to live a life that we've been accustomed to, even though maybe our needs have changed. For me, with retiring from the post office after 34 years, I got to a place where I understood that I didn't need all those things things, material things that I thought I needed, you know. And so even though my needs and wants changed, there was still that it had to be a certain way. It had to be a certain level, you know, where I could feel comfortable. And when I hear you say luxury, I can see children of those parents wanting those same things. Maybe they can't live in the home, you know, with their children for whatever reason. Perhaps they have resources where they can afford, you know, those amenities and those extra things. And on top of all of it, it's that love thing.
Yes.
You know, that is
most important.
yes, it's that love thing that is so important. And the children at home, because my son and my daughter always say, man, mama ain't gonna live with me. She gonna be, I'm not gonna let mama live with me. My son said, man, just let my mama live here. I'm just gonna give her whatever she wants. But just knowing everybody doesn't have that opportunity to be able to live with their children, or even want to live with their children, or even have family, you know, that they can stay with. But to be able to know that you're in a loving home, you're in a loving environment, and everything is kind of nice. I just may want to have a glass of wine and sit in front of the fireplace, you know, or something like that. So that is good stuff, Yvette. That is good stuff, and we're so glad to know that you're here, and that you are in Richmond, and that you're offering these services to our seniors, and we're looking forward to the growth and expansion of the 1% of the global market with Brian, and the two homes in each state. Luxury. I keep saying luxury because I love that stuff. You know. So let's talk a little bit. We have a couple minutes. Let's talk about the chamber. How'd you find the chamber, and what does it mean to you?
So I found the chamber through a friend, and he was, you know, hey, he always called me B. Jordan. He's like, hey, B. Jordan, they got some good things going on over here. You know, you may want to check it out. And so he was definitely raving about Miss Leandra.
Yes.
And so I reached out to her. I had reached out to her probably right when I first started business, but I was so busy at that point in time, just trying to figure out what I was doing.
Yes.
And then things circled back around, and me and that same friend had another conversation. He was like, yeah, I just left from over there. I said, yeah, I need to follow back up with her. So of course I called her, and she was her normal glowing self. And,
yes.
And I told her, hey, you know what, I want to come in as soon as possible so we can, you know, get things going and everything like that. And I guess that's another question in itself. What attracted me to it itself was kind of like the website says, they're connecting to dollars.
Yes.
Right. And me, I'm a businessman first, so number one rule in business to me is to be in business.
Yes.
So with they were putting together opportunities that sounded very lucrative, and so I wanted to come over and hear what was actually going on. And then, like I said, Miss Leandra, she always treats you like family. When we sat down at the table, and she opened my eyes to a whole world of other things as well. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this right now. Let's not wait. Let's go ahead and get this done. Okay. And then let's get the ball rolling. So.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, she always makes you feel like you're a part of her family. You know, I remember when I was working on my business plan. Okay. I'm working on my business plan, and she opened up my eyes to so many things that I had not even thought about. I just knew, hey, this is what I want to do, you know. And she was like, and she has this, you know, the board in her in the conference room, and she gets on this board, and she's like, okay, Bobby, so what about this? Or what about this? How much you gonna spend on this? What about your employees? What about your staff? What about, you know? And I'm sitting there. This was about 3 years ago. And I'm sitting there. What about your advertising? What are you gonna pay for advertising? What are you gonna do? And she's just rattling. She's just rattling all this stuff off. Probably most of it I had never even thought about. I just knew I wanted to do this fabulous boutique, and you know, I'm gonna do all these things. And I never that back office stuff. That back office stuff, the capital. And I'm just sitting there, and I told my friend, I said, I came out there, I felt like I was raped. because it was just so upfront and in your face and real, and she would talk about, as you stated earlier, how your wife worked for free, and I encounter so many people that say, well, I don't pay myself. I don't pay myself. And so we definitely have to get to a place, not your particular situation, that's not what I'm speaking of in terms of now, but we have to get to a place to where we pay ourselves. We pay ourselves. And Leandra has this thing where she said, okay, so you're not going to pay yourself, so how you going to live? So how you going to pay your bills? So now you're embezzling money from your own company. You know what I'm saying? And so how we have to do those things, but when you don't know, you don't know. And that's what the chamber does, is it brings it up close and personal when you, beginning, how is your business registered? How are you set up? And all these things that fall into place after that, and then it all comes together. So yeah, that's just my little thing. So Beth, tell us about how'd you find the chamber and your chamber experience?
My daughter's best friend grandmother came up to me. She seen the sign on my truck.
Okay.
We was at a basketball game, and she asked me, did I know about it? I knew nothing about it.
Okay.
I had to be honest with her.
Okay.
And I told her, and she was like, you know what? Give me a call on Monday. And she gave me the rundown of everything, and then you end up calling me. And when when you called me and I got a chance to talk to you, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, because I had been asking questions, because I've been paying for everything out of my pocket as well, and trying to find those connections to get the bids, to get the certifications. It's like you have to go through several avenues to get there. And with you giving me everything up front and telling me you can do everything under one umbrella, I was sold, because it saved me time and saved me money at the same time. Because at the end of the day, I just opened in December, and I'm very new to the game. So in doing this, I feel like I cut so many corners.
Yes.
By just going directly into this.
To the source.
Into
right?
the source.
Plug into the source.
Plug into the source.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. I want to thank you guys for being a guest on our Let's Talk Business broadcast today. We thank you for being our supporting members, and we hope that our listeners and our viewers are going to tap in, that are in need of your services, will tap into the resource that you are, valuable resources. I have really enjoyed you both today, and I want to thank you for coming. And I'm just looking forward to what's to come in your businesses. And y'all don't forget about me when you get your 1% global, and then and all those good things. So thank you so much for being on my guest today, and thank you for listening. Make sure that you go to YouTube on Wednesday, so you'll be able to look at our audio broadcast on our website, and you'll be able to see what you hear will match up with what you see. So thank you very, very much for coming. We're excited to have you, and we look forward to what the future holds for you. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.